Hi, I'm Christine from Christine's Corner. We're here at a fundraiser for Brian's Angels at the Terryville Fairgrounds here on Saturday, the 16th of July. There's going to be 5 bands: Jeff Summon and the Roasters, LB4, Blondie and Beyond, Country Steel, The Remnants, plus Katrina and Mark Duet. All here at the Terryville Fairgrounds. We're going to see one of the bands, this Jeff Summon and the Roasters, and you're going to hear some originals. And this is all for Brian's Angels, for the homeless, the cooling and warming shelter in Bristol on Summer and Center Street. At the church in the basement. They serve sandwiches for lunch, and they also give out clothes and shoes and undergarments and socks, you name it, and food. So tune in and listen to some great bands. Thank you.
What's your name?
My name's Josh Lopez.
You run a band here?
Yep, I'm from the Remnants Family Band. So we play Americana rock, a little bit of folk rock, a lot of cool stuff. We've got some organs, some banjos, and some guitars in our set, which mixes it up quite a bit.
Do you write some of these songs?
We do. So we have a couple originals in the set today. We actually just finished an album that we were recording with all originals on it, and some of those are making it in today's set.
So this is for the fundraiser for Brian's Angels. How did you come about coming here?
Yeah, so we originally did the Brian's Angels fundraiser last year. We had a really great time. We're actually from Terryville, so this is our hometown, so we're really happy to do any charity events that support anything going on in our hometown, especially Brian's Angels, because we've worked with them in the past. So we were happy when we got the call to come back and do it again. We said absolutely.
Hello.
So what's your name and what are you doing here for Brian's Angels?
So my name is Maria Schwertel. I am the owner of Mind's Eye Entertainment Group. I am also the GM of Aquila's Nest Vineyards in Sandy Hook. I am here today because I love Pat, first and foremost, and I was asked to be the host last year, the Master of Ceremonies, and I love the charity. I love what she's doing. I believe in what we're doing here today. And if you didn't make it this year, make sure you make it next year. Put it on your calendar.
Okay, great. Thanks. What's your name?
My name is Lisa Whitney.
Hi, Lisa. What do you do for Brian's Angels?
I am the chairman on the board of directors.
Oh, and how do you help Brian's Angels?
Well, we help, on the board of directors helps on the back office side with all of the corporate and legal side of Brian's Angels as a corporation, because we are a 501c3, we're a full nonprofit. And, realistically, I help in the center, I help to raise funds, we do fundraising, we do supplies for the center. I go in, I man the center if Pat has to be out for any reason.
Right.
So.
Oh, well, thank you for, so you're here helping today for the fundraiser.
I am. We organized this fundraiser. It's going to be wonderful. We've got 6 different bands that are going to be on tap. We've got food vendors, drink vendors, craft vendors. So it's going to be a really good day.
Yeah. Yeehaw. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep. So can you tell us who you are?
My name is Pat Stebbins, and I run Brian's Angels Homeless Outreach in Bristol, Connecticut.
How did Brian's Angels start? Brian's Angels
started on a very, very hot summer day in 2015 when the temperature was up over 100 degrees by 8 a.m. And many people on our local Bristol Talk site on Facebook were buying coffee for people behind them at Dunkin' Donuts, and I figured if somebody's in line for coffee, they've got money for coffee. However, after introducing myself to a couple of homeless, they didn't have money for cold water, so we started with cold water.
Oh, how long have you had Brian's Angels been going?
Brian's Angels will be 7 years old on August 15th.
And they said it couldn't be done.
They exactly said it couldn't be done. And who knew? Because there were no plans for this. This is just one of those weird little accidents.
Right.
So this is a great fundraiser for Brian's Angels.
This has become an annual fundraiser with our bands. We are so excited. 5 bands today. Last year we had 3, so let's hope we go bigger and better every year.
Well, great. Thank you very much for doing all that you do.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for helping us.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Boards on the window, mail by the door. What would anybody leave so quickly for? Ophelia, where have you gone? Your neighborhood just ain't the same. Nobody knows just what. I got a long chair in my backyard. There's no place I'd rather be. I think about the little things in life. It's more than good enough for me. There's a warm beach out there somewhere. I can hear it calling my name. There's gonna be some Bob Marley on the radio, staying up until it's too late. Well, the little things are made for me. Close my eyes and on the count of 3, I'm gonna fly away because I believe that the little things are made for me. She's got a smile like a sunrise. It shines like the light of the day. And when it's cold outside, I hold her oh so tight. Wish all of my troubles away. Now the old folks, if they listen, oh, all the things they'd hear us say. Talking about life and love and happiness. Can you set a little over my way? Alright, here we go. There's a candle burning brighter than it ever did before. Because the little things and what they mean to me, I don't think I'll ever want more. Well, the little things are made for me. Close my eyes and on the count of 3, I'm gonna fly away because I believe the little things are made for me. Oh, they're made for me. Oh, they're made for me. Made for me. Oh, they're made for me. Thank you guys. That one's called The Little Things. That's off of the album that we just recorded. We've got some copies up here after the show. Come find us and we'll hand you one. Like we were saying earlier, they're on USB sticks, so it's easier to plug into your computer. If you don't like it, you can delete our music off of there, put some pictures of your cats on there, your kids. If you don't like your kids, you can find somebody else's kids and put them on there. Whatever you want to do with it. But hey, it's a free USB stick with some good music on it.
So Janine was out sick from a practice last week, and I took on the challenge of trying to sing that song. It went just as exactly as that reaction was. That's about how it sounded. Excuse me.
Wait, that was a different song.
No, no. I did that.
Oh, you did that one too?
Yeah, Josh, I did that one too.
Wow. I love him this one. While we're getting set up here, this is another original.
We really like to make things complicated up here to see how many instruments we can play throughout the show.
If it's out of tune, that just makes it sound better.
Thank you, guys. Make sure you... They call me Spaceman, I'm the ruler of your skies. Am I a wizard or the devil in disguise? Jump on my magic ship and surf the stars with me. We'll cross the galaxy to find what we can be. And your eyes are open wide with possibilities inside. Come along on this ride. Never leave me. They call me Gypsy, I'll bring you fortune and fame. Look in my crystal ball and see what you can gain. I can be a genie and grant a wish or three. You'll be the wanderer and take this land from me. And your eyes are open wide with possibilities inside. Come along on this ride. Never leave me.
Ain't got much to offer, but my vision's but it's funny cause it's all you in one. So the path is ahead, so just keep your peace down. But really I was saying a gun. As the world gets cold, don't let it freeze your heart, put your gun and either one's in the air. Don't know much about the birds of the world we live in, but I know you can call me a friend.
And when you're lonely, I'll find you, and we'll sing away our blues. Free your mind, you know what to do. All you've gotta do is say,
Ain't got much,
when you're lonely,
but my vision's but it's funny cause it's all you in one. So the path is ahead,
and
so
we'll
just keep
sing
your peace down.
away our
As the
blues.
world gets cold, don't let it freeze your heart, put your gun and either one's in the air. Don't know much about the birds of the world we live in, but I know you can call me a friend.
And your eyes are open wide with possibilities inside. Come along on this ride. Never leave me. Oh, believe in 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 me. Thank you, folks. We're going to trade back to Janine now. I'm going to jump over to keys.
My name is Pat Stebbins. I started Brian's Angels Homeless Outreach in August of 2015 in downtown Bristol, Connecticut.
How did you start Brian's Angels?
We started when I was walking my dog. I live in the downtown area, and I noticed an awful lot of homeless people after I got the dog. And one day a young couple stopped me, wanted to pet the dog because the young lady had lost 2 dogs when she went homeless. And Bristol Talks at that point in time was doing Pay It Forward. So everybody would get online and talk about how they got Dunkin' Donuts for the person behind them. I decided that if the person in line was there for Dunkin' Donuts, they had the money for Dunkin' Donuts. The homeless didn't have money even for cold water. So we started passing out cold water.
Wow, and it was that long ago in Bristol,
Yep.
Connecticut. And how did you get a building? I mean, how did it start? How did people know where to go?
I had asked Ellen Zappo, who was a city council member at the time, what we could do, how we could help, how to stay legal, basically. because I didn't know what was allowed and what wasn't allowed as far as helping people. And Ellen encouraged me to go to the homeless task force, which was run by United Way. And it was the beginning of bigger things. At that point, the homeless task force was looking, this was getting into the fall season, and the task force was looking to open up a warming center because the library was getting overwhelmed. Too many homeless people, too many issues, either between police and ambulance. So they had asked for another place to open, and at that point, Bristol Community Organization was still around, and they got a grant and started the first warming center.
Wow, how did you come up with the name Brian's Angels?
Brian's Angels is named in memory of my son, Brian Pins, who died March of '98. And he was a victim of homelessness. In the '90s, it was the crack. The crack got him, and really not a whole lot of self-confidence. Brian had some tough times. So I wanted to do it in his memory.
Oh, so if he were here today, he would be helping you, I'm sure.
Brian, the reason I did it, Brian started getting into a little bit of trouble after falling skiing. It was his brother's senior year, so he must have been freshman or sophomore. Fell skiing, did major injury to his spleen. Was told that he had to stay home. Well, it caused severe depression. It was his senior year, come to think of it. So he was out November to April of his senior year. He had a heck of a time catching up, and it was at that point that I think he started drinking. And I honestly believe, I don't have hospital records to prove it, but I'll guarantee that he was on opiates in that emergency room and in the ICU. And that was the beginning of his drinking.
That's really sad that led into other things.
Right. I have no way that I'll ever really know, but I suspect it strongly.
Yeah.
Early '90s, pain medicine wasn't a big deal in the early '90s.
Have you noticed since you've been here, how many years then?
Going on 7 years.
7 years. Good for you. Just started with a bottle of water.
And no plans.
And no plans. You didn't even think you were going to be headed the whole thing, did you?
No idea. Absolutely no idea. What happened is after the grant ran out for the first warming center at BCO, we were in a task force meeting, and one of the members was lamenting, how are we going to do a cooling center because the grant money is up. And I thought about it as thoroughly as I think about most things and shot up my hand and basically said, oh, let me try to do it with all volunteers. Let me try all volunteers. And the man who was running the shelter at the time looked at me and said, you'll never be able to do that with all volunteers. Well, 5 years later with the location, we're still doing it with all volunteers.
And you're in a different location. You were over on Jacob Street?
We were on Jacob Street in a smaller location. We about doubled our square footage here, and honestly, we could stand to double our square footage again.
Well, and now you're here on Summer and Center.
Corner Center and Summer, basement of Prospect United Methodist Church. It's beautiful. It's like being in a park.
Wow. How long you been here?
Going on 3 years. August will be 3 years.
Wow, it's been 3 years already. I remember
Doesn't
when you
seem-
first started.
Doesn't seem possible.
Wow. So, have you noticed in all those years, maybe some reasons why people become homeless? I mean, I know people always say they're drunk or they're alcoholics, but
For some
there's other
people,
ways.
it's addiction issues. For other people, it's a lack. Let's talk about the lack of money in this country right now, and
Right.
don't get me started on that soapbox, because I don't know who, as a minimum wage adult worker, might be able to afford any type of housing. They can barely afford to go to McDonald's some days. McDonald's is up to $15 for a hamburger, a soda, and fries.
Yeah, I noticed
Um,
at the counter.
I don't know how people are affording it right now, especially with our wage scale. United States used to pay big. It's not what it used to be.
Not at all. The gas and the food, yeah, don't get me started.
There's an awful lot of people falling into this, and
You say domestic violence falls in play to
domestic violence is absolutely one of the reasons. There's just so many different reasons. It's so hard to go into. Everybody has a different story, and I'm sure as you interview other people,
Right.
we have a couple coming in. It breaks my heart. They're sleeping in their car. There's a lot of people sleeping in their cars right now that are working.
That's if they're lucky if they have a car, right?
Correct.
All those tents, and if they're lucky, if they even have a tent, right?
Correct.
You give so much. What do you do for them?
The list is long. When we started out, we were actually not doing lunches. I did sandwiches and coffee. Just wanted a place for people to come and relax, get connected with services, get supplies if they need them. So when the pandemic hit, previous to the pandemic, we were operating a 1 to 5 schedule with various people coming in to meet with the clients. Wheeler Clinic, the Bristol Board of Health comes in, checks on us now and then. There's a number of agencies that come in to work with the clients. We have been working on trying to help people get IDs, get driver's licenses, get jobs, whatever we can help in that direction to help somebody out of homelessness.
I seen you give them clothing and food every day.
Food, clothing, we have showers on a first come, first served basis.
Oh, nice.
When I first started, I was running around trying to get people into showers at various facilities, and I would frequently end up standing there waiting because they don't have clocks. They might have a cell phone that works now and then, but watches and clocks aren't a thing when you're sleeping in a tent. So when we moved here, the church gave us permission to install a shower, and By Carrier in Bristol was actually the first one that showed back up and gave me a price, and he did an amazing job. So we have a beautiful little shower for our homeless.